Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 Truth or Sports with another segment. I want to get right into it. This particular segment, I titled it Why Coach Prime Can't Stop Travis Hunter from Going Both Ways. And I decided to do this title, this segment, because, the last couple of weeks, especially when Travis got hurt, everybody was saying Coach Prime is wearing this kid out. They should just choose one side of the ball, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought with the bye week being here, this was a good time to talk about this, and not just Coach Prime and Travis Hunter, but future coaches, because it's deeper than what people just think. He's not wearing the kid out, and I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Everybody who knows Travis's story, you know that he was first signed and out of high school by Florida State. Florida State, of course, is a big nationally known school, a national powerhouse. That's exactly what they are. And he was the top prospect, and he signed where he wanted to go, and which was cool. So when you look at Dion, you got to ask yourself, okay, how did Coach Dion get Travis Hunter from Florida State, or get him to go to Jackson State? Because remember, Travis went to Jackson State first. Um, it couldn't have been NIL money, because Florida State is going to have more NIL money and more NIL access. So it couldn't have been that. He could not have used the pros as a hanging carrot in front of a horse, for Travis. Meaning that he can't say, Travis, you're coming to me. I can guarantee you can go to the pros, because Florida State can obviously get you to the NFL. Florida State has the same access, as not if not more, or connections if not more, for the next level, for somebody like Travis. It couldn't have been his Coach Prime's coaching acumen or his coaching history, because Coach Dion is still building his. He didn't really have any, especially at Jackson State. And Florida State obviously has more of that. Florida State, the coach just has a bigger name at the time. Well, not really a bigger name than Coach Dion, but he had more access to more things being at Florida State. It couldn't have been competition. He couldn't have, Coach Prime couldn't have said, well, come to the SWAC. You're going to face the toughest competition. We all know that's the SEC. And of course, Florida State had more to offer him when it came to conference, when it came to competition, when it came to national games, et cetera, et cetera, especially with Florida State, being based out of the ACC. And of course, that's a bigger conference than the SWAC conference, as you know, and that's just what it is. The only reason I believe that he was able to get Travis Hunter to come to Jackson State, and that's another thing I have to give Travis credit for, is he joined Coach Prime at Jackson State. Coach Prime was not at Colorado. Coach Prime was not at Alabama. Coach Prime was not at Florida State. He was at Jackson State in the SWAC conference. So the only reason I truly believe he was able to get him to sign was because he promised him that he could play both ways. Okay, and of course, anybody, it sounds so simple, but most ex players like myself, most of them would tell you, a lot of coaches would tell you a lot of things in high school, but when you get to the campus and you sign and you get on site and you start practicing and you start playing games, things change real quick. Especially with Travis getting hurt, this is a perfect time where Coach Prime could say you're only going to play one side of the ball, but he can't do that. Because he promised that kid, and he actually kept his promise, which you have to give Coach Prime credit for. Now, because Coach Dion is letting him play both ways, these are some of Travis's accolades. He won the Paul Hornung Award in 2023. This is an award for the most versatile player in college football. He was a consensus All American in 2023. He was a SWAC Freshman of the Year in 2022. He was second team All Pac 12 in 2023, second team All SWAC in 2022. He will be a first round in the NFL draft. He will also be a lottery pick in the NFL draft. And he was also named mid-season All-American. So because he's able to go both ways, he was able to get those accolades. And you have to give not just Travis credit, because Travis is doing the work. Of course, he is the one out there hustling and making things happen. But it has to be allowed from the coaches. Now, as far as the Heisman, okay, he's a Heisman candidate. All right, this is another reason that Coach Prom has to let him play. I'm gonna read some of the stats to you. As a receiver, on the team, and I'm going to cover as a receiver, I'm going to cover receptions, yards, and touchdowns. As a receiver, he leads his team in receptions with 60. As a receiver, he leads his team in yards with 757. As a receiver, he also leads his team in touchdowns with 8. And I think LeJontay West is like 1 or 2 touchdowns behind him. Now, nationally, as a receiver, he ranks 16th in the nation in touchdowns with 60. As a receiver, nationally, he ranks 10th in yards with 757, and he ranks 6th in the nation in touchdowns with 8. Okay, so that's him as a receiver on the offensive side of the ball. Now, are those numbers good enough to be a Heisman Trophy candidate? Probably not. No, actually, I can tell you, no, it's not. Now, let's flip it to defense. I'm going to cover receptions, yards, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to cover interceptions, solo tackles, assisted tackles, total tackles, and of course we're going to do intercept. Well, I say interceptions. Now he's tied with 3 other teammates with 2 apiece. They're all in first place as far as on the team. Okay, so he's tied for first in interceptions, but it's 3 other people with 2. So he's not even really, those stats are not outstanding on this team as other people with the same amount of picks. He's 10th on his team with 13 solo tackles. He's ninth on his team with 7 assisted tackles. He's also ninth on his team with 20 total tackles. So really, he's not standing out as far as strictly as a defender. All right, so let's go to nationally numbers as far as a defender. As a defender, he's ranked 48th in the nation in interceptions with 2. He's ranked 921 with 13 solo tackles. He's ranked 1400 with 7 assisted tackles, 1400, and he's ranked 1079 in total tackles with 20. And he also, he doesn't return punts, so he doesn't return kicks. So you have to think about that. Travis, if he just plays the defensive side of the ball, is he a Heisman candidate? No, he's not. Is he a pro? Still maybe be a pro, but will he get all these accolades he's getting now without playing both ways? No. Is he a first rounder? Probably not. Is he a Heisman Trophy candidate? No, he's not. So in conclusion, I have to give Dion credit for playing Travis, even though Travis gets hurt. Um, the goal is to get Travis to the NFL. If playing him both ways to get him to the NFL, that's what you do. If once he gets to the NFL, is no longer Coach Prime's issue. That's between Travis, Travis's agent, and that team he's playing for. Okay, so we have to give Coach Dion credit for keeping his promise, which is something a lot of coaches will not do. They will not keep a promise for certain things, especially if you start getting hurt. To let Travis both ways is saying a lot for Coach Prime. Like I told you, most will make you choose. Most schools will make you choose. And back when I played, you couldn't just get up and transfer. First of all, your parents would tell you they paying for you to go to school. You're going to stay there. And if you did come up with a good case of transfer, you had to sit out for a year. And then with Travis. Hurting his shoulder, it even tells you more of a commitment that Coach Prime and Travis has to let him keep playing both sides of the ball. Okay. So these are some of the reasons that I think that this is why he has to keep playing Travis. You don't want to look Travis in the face after all of the success he's having and say, son, I'm only play you one side of the ball the rest of the season. Now, I'm not in their minds, I'm not in their brains, and they could still do that. I just don't think you will get the best out of Travis if you do that. He's gotten himself in a position where he's already a millionaire from playing both ways. He's gotten major college accolades from playing both ways. He's gotten national attention from playing both ways. So I think some of the heat needs to come off of Coach Prime, and I'm not a defender of Coach Prime. I like him, but I don't like every move that he makes, and that's just my opinion because that's why I call this sports truth because I tell the truth and what I'm saying. But this particular situation, I understand what the nation is saying about you just playing one side of the ball, but I also understand the ins and outs of recruiting and getting a kid like the number one recruit in the nation to get him to come to the SWAC conference. You have to give him some type of promises. promises. If it wasn't monetary or whatever it could have been, you have to promise him what he wants to do. The kid wants to play both sides of the ball in college. He promised it to the kid. The kid came and joined him in the SWAC conference. HBCU. He did that. Now he's in a position to go on to do bigger and better things. And I think from here until the end of the season, I think Coach Prime has to let the kid keep playing both sides of the ball. Now, will he play in the bowl game? The way I view Travis, I'm gonna say yes, that he'll play in the bowl game. But a lot of top picks will not play in the bowl game. But with this being Colorado's first bowl game, I think since 2016, with Travis coming with Coach Prime from the SWAC conference all the way up into the Big 12 and the Pac 12, it wouldn't shock me if Travis plays. In a bowl game. But these are just some of the reasons that I think behind the scenes a lot, which is what I like to do on my page. I try to look at it from a different point of view than everybody else within most people look at it. But like I said, any recruit who's played before that may come across this page or this segment will completely understand what I'm saying. Because more coaches than not will change their mind once you get on campus, because they may say you can't pick up the defensive plays and the offensive plays, or you're hurt or you're fatigued or whatever. But Travis, came into a great position and a great situation with a college coach who was willing to let him be who he wanted to be in college. And congratulations to him. I personally think this may open the doors up to other players who can play both ways in high school, and they're exceptional athletes, and they may give them the opportunity to do that on the next level, on this level, as far as big time college football. So it's been Hunt 919, Truth to Sports. Ride with me.